And okay, carbon share. Why do you need to share your carbon?
Yeah. Actually, the reasons why we started Carbon Share slightly more than 2 years ago, Pak, because we realized that climate change is a big problem that
indeed,
needs
yes.
participation from everyone, not just the government, but also the non-state actor, from corporations until individuals.
The civil society.
In our view, all business eventually needs to decarbonize. And they would want to include their end user to help them in their decarbonization journey as well.
So that's the thing, which is good.
Yeah. And it's a blessing in disguise, actually, Pak Poempida.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, oh yes, decarbonizers, carbon activists all over the world. Welcome back to another episode of Carbon Forum. This time around, we need to understand when you do business in carbon, there's got to be a lot of risks that you have to mitigate. And we're going to talk with one of the experts on this line of business, of course. And it's a she. She is the CEO of Carbon Share. I don't know what that means, whether you want to share any carbon whatsoever to anyone. Let's see what she needs to say. Miss Faelasufa, the CEO of Carbon Share. Halo Ibu Faela, apa kabar?
Halo Pak Pompi, kabar baik. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for having for coming here, and then it is a pleasure for us to have you here. And okay, Carbon Share. Why do you need to share your carbon?
Yeah, actually, the reasons why we started Carbon Share slightly more than 2 years ago, Pak, because we realized that climate change is a big problem that needs participation from everyone, not just the government, but also the non-state actor, from corporations until individuals.
The civil society.
That's why we want to democratize access to climate solutions. Hence the name, Carbon Share. So share
that's kind of divine and very divine.
Thank you, Pak.
Okay, keep talking. Continue.
Nearly more than 2 years ago, sih Pak, kita started Carbon Share, and then what just an idea back then, idea and dreams and passion, basically. When we started, now become a company that help other company to decarbonize.
Oh, right. So what do you do when you actually try to sort of assist any companies to decarbonize? What do you do?
We have 3 main offering or service, Pak. One is academy. So we realize that it's important to fit or change the mindset first before we decarbonize company, decarbonize the people first. So here comes the training,
mindset needs to be
upskilling.
changed dulu.
So professionals, we realize the important to equip professionals with the skill set needed, so they can drive, enable, and also shape the culture to drive sustainability in their companies. And our second offering, Pak, is GAG measuring. So GAG accounting, basically. This is done through our API. So we build Carbon Shares API that can automatically calculate the GAG emissions associated from a transaction when it is integrated in our client's platform.
Right. Any platform? What kind of platform? ERP or
it's
whatever?
more suitable for e-commerce or ride-hailing. So basically, digital platform that has access to their end user. So B2B2C.
I see. How many clients you have at the moment? Like one that already, perhaps you already did in the past, try to sort of accompany them to decarbonize.
So far, we have more than 20, Pak.
That's
in the past 2 years.
2 years, 20 clients. That means like perhaps like 1 month for each client or something like that. That's
kind of, if you put it that way.
That's a lot of work. Okay, that's good.
If I may continue, our third service. In GAG accounting, not just providing API, but we also do it more conventionally. So we have consulting arm that help clients to basically do end-to-end ESG initiative,
Okay.
from assessing their materiality assessment and then developing ESG gap analysis
Right.
until developing net zero target and help them to implement those initiatives.
I see.
And the last service is carbon offsetting. So in here, we help clients.
So you buy carbon credits to offset somebody else's deficit, something like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
I understand. Wow, that's very interesting. So do you do any sort of developing any kind of solutions for decarbonization?
Yeah, through the API.
Oh.
So the second one is API, right?
Okay.
For GHG measuring.
Yeah.
So we develop it.
I don't quite understand the API. I understand what API is, but I don't quite understand how it works, because normally you provide the service of software service or application service.
Yeah.
But with API, how do you actually do that? Because that means somebody else needs to have an application that attached to your API, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Right.
Yeah.
So please explain a little bit more on that.
So in our view, all business eventually needs to decarbonize.
Yeah.
And they would want to include their end user to help them in their decarbonization journey as well.
I understand. Yeah. But that's scope 3 anyway, actually.
But when a client integrate our API in their apps or in their website, for instance, it can calculate the carbon footprint associated with their user's transaction. Okay. For instance, if we're talking about ride-hailing, Pak Pompi, you use ride-hailing from here to your home, how many kilometers, and then with this API, it will automatically calculated how many kilo CO2 associated with your travel, for instance,
I see.
from here to your home.
Okay.
So it gives.
So you actually, I mean, your API straight away conclude the equivalent of the what you call it, the carbon sort of equivalent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Volume or whatever units.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
That's very interesting. So if I need to attach to your API, what do I need to do?
You need to contact us.
Of course, I will contact you. But what I'm saying is technically, I need to have your API sort of codes, obviously.
We will basically assist your IT team to integrate this API in your platform.
All right. What kind of platform that you are willing to sort of attach with?
Right now, platform that has logistics or delivery function.
Okay.
So like ride-hailing or a delivery.
Yeah.
And platform that has payment function like electricity payments, something like that. And platform that has airlines related transaction like buying airlines ticket.
So you're mainly focused on any expanding sort of parameters on either it is for transportations or transactions or whatever. That's it, right?
Our data activity is their distance travel, or in terms of electricity is electricity consumption. So the usage.
Oh, okay.
Not spend based, but the usage, Pak.
Okay, so you're using different kind of variables for that. Okay. Wow, I'd like to see it more actually. You have to sort of make a presentations in the association so we can actually. Yeah. You join ASEXI, right?
Yeah, I joined ASEXI.
What is your role in the ASEXI?
Yeah. I'm a VP Secretary, Pak. Wasekjen, ya, Pak.
Okay, that's good. So you're working together with the Pak Brian, yeah?
Yeah, it's a great association, if I must say.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for joining the association. Anyway, as I mentioned it earlier, it is about the mitigating of the risks. I mean, I understand that you claim that the carbon business is actually mitigating the whole decarbonization sort of activities. Am I right?
Actually,
it's the other way around.
If I get it
I don't know.
correctly, you mean is carbon credit. If carbon credit, it is should be complementary. So carbon credit or carbon offsetting is complementary rather than substitutes to a direct GHG reduction. So we must reduce the GHG emissions first, and then for any unabated emissions or any emissions left, we can use carbon credits to offset that.
Okay. So which part of it that actually there is mitigating sort of activities
for carbon?
Yeah, for decarbonization. You're saying that the carbon business is actually mitigating the risk for what you call it, the decarbonization.
So if you're talking about how business can mitigate carbon related risk part, we need to firstly understand what are these risks. Right. Related to climate change, to carbon, there are like three types of risk. First is physical risk. Second is transition risk, and third is financial risk. The most common one is physical risk. So it's basically risk associated with damage or destruction because of the weather, extreme weather, and then cyclone or natural disaster that arise because of climate change. As we speak right now, in Central Java, for instance, there is flooding in Demak, in Kudus, because of heavy rains non-stops. And this physical risk, it will lead to property damage. So if a company has factory and it's damaged because of that climate change related natural disaster, then it becomes a physical risk. And also it can increase operational costs as well. Because why? Operational costs, for instance, there is a company operating using this infrastructure or road, and then this road is currently flooding, then it will increase their operational costs, right? And then we go to the second risk, it's transition risk. So it's basically risks that arising because we are shifting to low carbon economy. So this is risk related to policies changes, and then technology, and also shift in the market. So for instance, we're talking risks about policy, ESG related policy or carbon related policy are being implemented everywhere right now. And even if our country is not yet implemented that, we will get this quote unquote spillover effect of what other countries is doing. This is like we kind of experience it right now when EU implement EU CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. Then our exporters, now if they want to enter EU market, they need to comply with that. So that's sort of transition risk that I'm talking about. And the last one is financial risk. This is associated with basically both operational risk, the first two risk, it has financial risk as well. For instance, physical risk, it will increase costs. And then physical risk, it will, or regulatory risk, transition risk, it can cause to stranded asset, companies' asset. And there are also risks related to the increased insurance costs and others. So that's financial risk. So companies need to adequately know this risk that will happening right now or in the future. So then they need to adequately prepare to mitigate and face that risk. So that's what we're doing in the consulting firm, is to advise companies not only measure their GHG emissions, but also advise them these are the risks that will come into your way if you don't change anything in your operations.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's not only aiming to earn more income, but also to actually mitigate the risk that they will face in the future, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing, which is good.
And it's a blessing in disguise, actually, Pak Pompey, because the companies that will not only survive but also thrive and come out as a winner are the ones that can utilize this risk, shift it into opportunity. Like electric vehicle. 30 years ago, the ones dominating our cars are Japanese brand, for instance, right? Right now we see more Korean brand. Because they've mitigated that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is a sort of disruption in this process of this, the transition risk, right?
Exactly.
The transition risk. Anyway, what is your hope and what is your aim in the future for Carbon Share, of course? What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, our North Star is impact. So we hope that we can help.
You're not supported by North Star, though. Eh?
No.
I'm just kidding. Your North Star is your goal. Yeah, okay.
We have our angel investor, but our North Star is impact part. So we want to help these companies to decarbonize. Be it from integrating our API in their platform, or help them to measure their GHG emissions, and then know their net zero plan and how to have an imperative strategy for that. So that's what we want. We want to be impactful to them so they can manage the risk and they can do a more sustainable businesses.
Right. That's good. That's good. I'd like to discuss with you in more detail on that matters, of course.
Thank you.
And then, what is your pain point so far when you do this business? Don't tell me that everything is about pain points.
No, but it's just funny. This morning we get a wake up call.
Oh.
Well, our pain point is mainly regulations.
Okay.
I was trained in the energy industry.
Okay.
It's highly regulated, and when I
so you're used to the
regulations,
rigid regulations or anything like that,
When we first enter in the carbon industry, it's not yet fully regulated like right now. But now they're just introducing regulations, and there are loopholes, there are gray area, there are things that might change. So that's one of our pain points, how to navigate in the time of uncertainty.
Oh, okay. Do you expect anything at all from supports from the government, or what is your expectations? Or if you have a say to the government, what would you say?
I actually always...
Please open up this, please open up that, please allow me to do this. It's something like that maybe.
I am husnudon ya Pak ya. With the government have like a positivity towards what they will do, and I believe that what the government is trying to do is what's best for Indonesia, is to reduce our nation's GHG emissions.
Okay. So that's your hope, the only hope, or
so just focus on that,
Okay. So if they're serious in doing that, then most probably all the necessary policies will follow that aim. Is that what you're saying?
Because if that, then we have the same vision and mission.
That's good. That's good. Okay. It's very interesting, and it's been very productive, and I think it's been a pleasure discussing with you. But please address a couple of words to the audience. What is your closing statement, basically? Please.
Thank you so much. I think one individual is not a little, so everyone can be part of the climate solutions. So don't be pessimistic. Do what we can do right now, be it from turning off the lamps and then implement energy efficiency measure at home, or if you can advocate for the government to do something that is more good for the environment, which is right now, I think the government is already on the right path most of the times, but we as the public, we need to monitor and also to be their partner as well. I believe that climate change is not just the government's problem. We need to pitch in to be part of the solutions, not just corporations, but also us individually.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you,
and
Pak
that
Poempida.
was Ms. Faelasufa from Carbon Share, and she shared a lot of things related to the importance of doing the decarbonization, that really mitigating the climate change risk. And as we know it, that the top 10 of the risk, of the global risk, is actually the first one is always related to the extreme weather, which is caused by the climate change itself. So by doing the decarbonization seriously, then Carbon Share hopes that it will mitigate such thing like that. Okay, that was very interesting and very productive discussion from the Carbon Forum. With me, Poempida Hidayatulloh. Until the next episodes, please join us in the next episode, of course. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.